My highest regards to my fellow brothers in North America and Canada and the US and wherever you are. Listen up. Aren't you really bothered by the notion that everybody talks about mindset? What the heaven? It's almost denigrating to me that are you saying your riches coming from the fact that your mind is better than me? It's almost belittling. I'm fed up with it. I don't know about you. Actually, it's more than that. It's so much more than that. It's more about positioning. It's more about positioning, let's say. Of course, every labor has its own dignity. But can you imagine working in McDonald's or Walmart or low-paying service jobs? By the way, 50% of Americans merely are in low-paying service jobs. I'm talking about $15 being maximum per hour. If you're doing that, we know that with the highest interest rates, with the pricing, with inflation, it's not really even survival. So it's about positioning yourself. But let's be honest, even if you are making 100K or more as an employee only, there is no way for us or otherwise to become wealthy. Hey, what do you say, Bobby? I'm not saying that. Go research on that. I'm not saying you cannot, there's no other way. You need to do a secondary thing, which is at least investment and so much more. Okay? So are you saying, hey, Bobby, being an employee is bad? No, not at all. Actually, it has its own advantages, meaning that you have a nice little salary which is coming to you. It's almost guaranteed, but not so much. You can get laid off easily. I've been laid off myself. I've seen so many people laid off. And there is almost no industry, some are, and that you cannot be laid off. Recently, we had a lot of tech companies. Thousands of people got laid off. High-paying jobs. They had $1 million or more houses. So that would be that. You have you have income. You know it's coming, but you're not really taking too much risk. Meaning that you're not betting on yourself. It takes guts to be a self-employed person, let's be honest. And because of that, you get so much advantage. What is that? Well, you don't have the guaranteed income, but there's so many ways to maneuver tax-wise, for example. You're your own boss. And depending on the industry that you're picking, your pay is higher, usually. What else? You can become an investor. Investing doesn't mean risky. In fact, not investing is really risky. The time in the market, we say, is more important. The sooner you begin, the better. There's so many ways to do that. Investing, what is that? What is investing? Investing has two meanings. So I'm going to talk with you about the notion that most people are familiar with. You're buying something that you're hoping that is growing, meaning capital gain or appreciation, real estate being one of them, mutual fund, all of liquid funds, if managed properly, precious metals, and so many more. Like there's different categories. Essentially, there's two categories of investment. One of them is, as we call them, speculative investment, which you think, you don't know, but you hope it will make you wealthy. But some of them have track records. And you can have part of your assets there in the speculative, but you need to have most of your assets in other places. So that with the track record, you know that's giving you the life that's coming better for you and for your family. So if you are an employee and you are an investor as well, your chance of survival is good. It's not gonna be speedy, it's not, because it takes years for you to become wealthy. What's the best thing? I think the American dream is actually not home ownership. Even in Canada, a lot of people are concerned about home ownership and so on and so forth, and it's good. But I think the real promise, freedom, comes from having your own business. And business is so different than, it's a totally different game compared to a self-employed. So who is a self-employed? For example, a beginning real estate agent, a beginning mortgage broker, a beginning financial advisor. All of them are financial, and most of financial advisors are actually self-employed. If you have a team, and if you are using delegation of software or teams and a combination, hopefully, and your business does not depend on your physical presence to give you the money that you want and a lot more, it's not a business. A business is something that can operate without you. So, highest risk? Really? Not really. If you have a solid business, it's the best there is. And can you just do business? Well, you'd better do investment as well. Because if you think your business is the best, look at the Fortune 500. A lot of them actually have been misplaced. How bombastic we are that we think our business is the best there has ever been. Look at the history, look at the data. Manage the risk. Do that too. Okay, so we talked about mindset, which, think about it, a lot of people think it's set. It's actually not set. It's malleable, it's expandable. It's better to call it mentality. And it's about positioning and knowing the differences of employee, for example, versus self-employed versus investor and versus business. You can be in different places of the quadrant. By the way, this is described in Cash Flow, quadrant of Robert Kiyosaki, but I think I delved so much deeper into it. For a business and self-employed, for example, there is strategies that we can do in Canada especially to reduce taxes so much. For investment purposes, there is so much strategies for everyone, not typical financial advice, to lower capital gain or interest gain or whatever gain. There's 7 ways to make income. And there's so much more, but this is just a simplification of that. Is this all? The heavenly no. There's so much more. But I wanted to give you an orientation of what we are talking in here about. And we're gonna go so much deeper. Is that all mindset? Screw it. No. Never. It's so much more. So thinking about other things, which is coming next, a lot of people think, okay, Think and Grow Rich, for example, it's a very good book. It's sold so many copies next to Bible and Harry Potter. But we know that we are emotional beings. How much have we studied ourselves? And that's about something else, which I call it heart set, and the relationship of it to financial prosperity. And that's what we're going to be talking with you about next. Thank you so much.